Hello, Dan, and welcome to 100K Journey podcast. We're glad to have you here. And can you give us a little introduction about yourself?
Gentlemen, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Dan Ram. It's short for Daniel Ramamurthy, which is a mouthful. My greatest joy in life is helping people to start now, start simple. This is my motto. And the way I've been
Fantastic.
recently, the last 5 or 6 years, is as an event MC and moderator. I travel the world finding the best startup talent, connecting them to investors, coaching them, training them, so I can see the ideas come to life. But as you can tell with the mission, it can be anything from mentoring to opening businesses to whatever people want. As long as I can make people happy, I'm happy.
Killing it, definitely.
Yeah.
Dan, I have about a quick background on you when we talked on the pre-call regarding 18 companies that you had thinking about retirement at 30. How was that, if you can tell the audience a quick brief on that?
So I wish I could say that I was a lifestyle entrepreneur. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to have freedom. That's not why I got in the game. I actually wanted a job, like a real legit job. You know why? Because you have job security, you have salary, you have easy ladder that you can progress every 3 to 4 years. You know you're growing. I wanted all that safety. The problem was I graduated in a recession. So I first graduated my bachelor's degree from Yale University in a recession. And then I went to Trinity College, did my master's in business. And I again graduated in a recession. So both times I applied for jobs, but I didn't get it. So out of necessity, I just had to create my own job. And what did I do? Rather than complaining about the world around me and things that were broken, I was like, let me just fix it. And so my philosophy around business building has been super simple. I find things that everybody complains about, and rather than complain about it,
I find a solution.
I find a solution. So the very first thing that I did was building Ireland's first co-working space. Because again, in a recession, there were a lot of freelancers and entrepreneurs that were hustling on their own in tables and coffee shops and underground. I was like, let's just work together. Because there's no book on how to build a business that will help you. There is no
That's a good one.
course in college. You just got to do it yourself, and you got to figure it out. So
Definitely.
So you didn't have a first job. Like you just start by, you didn't have like a job in the beginning. You just start by building a business.
absolutely. Now, I did have jobs. Like I said, I wanted to
You
work
had jobs in the past.
in the past. I worked at KPMG, worked for the UN. And so I understand the corporate world very, very well. But
As you understand the corporate world, you don't like working there.
the corporate world is actually beautiful. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, their best exit will be to a corporate, right? And so understanding how the corporate world works.
What do you mean by
And
that?
it's kind of important to have a corporate world experience life. You have to go through it before starting your business to have a better understanding of how business works.
I think so, Omar. I mean, there's many ways that you can learn, but I think for some, it'll be by getting experience working for a company. For others, it might be listening to podcasts and YouTube. For others, it's just learn on the job. So I think everyone's got a different way to learn. And for me was seeing how successful people have done it and successful companies have done it, being inside the system and then going, this is what I would change. This is what I would do differently.
Yeah.
Definitely. But when you said, what do you mean by it's the best exit for entrepreneurs? I want to touch on that.
I mean, there's many different ways that an entrepreneur can finish whatever their mission is. Sometimes it is an IPO, but those are so rare. I mean, how amazing if that happens, but it's so rare. For most others, it'll be some sort of acquisition. And of the people that can acquire, I think corporates make a very, very good acquisition because then you can see your idea scale. So for example, I recently invested in a headphone company that has sensors, lots and lots of sensors in the headphones. And I work a lot with car companies here. Now, these sensors, to build it, to manufacture it, to build prototypes is expensive stuff. But I firmly believe that this is the future. It's either going to be a wearable like a watch or something around your neck, or it's going to be maybe headphones would be the way to track your movements and your behavior and everything else. So I love
Is it related to AI?
Yes, of course.
Wow. There's the thing. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere, mate. We're going somewhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
I want to hear the rest of the story of this product.
And so what happened with this product is, there's only so much that we can do with the funding that we had. But then we made an introduction to Porsche and to BMW and to Volkswagen. And what these guys have, big companies, is they have data, they have customers, right? And so instead of hustling and saying, hey, do you want to try these headphones out? BMW could just spam their newsletter group and say, hey, we're working with this whole new technology. Who's keen? And immediately thousands and thousands of people sign up. Plus they've got their own manufacturing and all that stuff. So for some startups, an exit to a corporate is actually incredible. But that exit is not compatible unless you understand how corporates work. And how corporates work, for the most part, stereotypically, is slow, with a lot of paperwork, with a lot of regulation.
Bureaucracy. Email, and you have to see a lot of people, and you have to go through all this hassle.
I hate the corporate word, mate.
And if you don't understand that, if you don't empathize with that, then there's no way you can work with them. But if you can, man, then you get that exit.
So did you sold your company at the end to the corporate?
I've sold quite a few companies, and some of them are not to a corporate. I should have never. No, I've helped other startups. That's why I was kind of hesitating. I was thinking, have I personally? No, but some of the startups I've invested in for sure, especially nowadays, given that I'm in Germany, this is quite easy because corporates, for some of them,
I was living in Germany. Do you like it?
Germany's amazing. Germany's amazing. I want to talk about the difference between building a company in the Middle East, where you guys are, right?
Yeah, Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai, and it's Germany. But for the most part,
Very high taxes. Like, people are tough. I went to Berlin a couple of times, but I didn't like it.
it's just different. Different things for different people.
I think they're more strategic. Like, they have a plan for everything. Like, I'm going to eat, we have a plan. We're gonna walk
Everything on time.
1,000 steps, and then I'm gonna go right, and then I'm gonna go to the restaurant. I'm gonna eat.
The trains are never delayed. Everything is like coming in exact time.
Yeah, they're good combinations.
That is true. So one core difference is this is an old, well-established economy that knows they need to innovate. And therefore, people like me have great opportunities because we bring what is new, what is fresh, but with a lot of respect for what is old. One of the things I love about the Middle East is there is no old. Everything is new. Everything is happening right now, right here, growing quickly. The fastest this, the tallest that, the deepest this, the quickest that, and it's amazing. And so you don't have as much bureaucracy and legacy, but of course there's other differences too. Like in the Middle East, I think for the most part, it's about who you know. And here, it's fair. It's not about who you know. It's just who's the best for the job. What do you see as some of the differences between Europe and Middle East? Why do you guys like building in Dubai?
Dubai is growing fast, and a lot of people are coming to Dubai. So there is a lot of opportunities to network and know people. Low taxes, of course. Like, Berlin taxes are like high. I think like 30 to 40%.
It's like Canada.
Yeah.
But I believe Dubai has this. Just like you said, it's present. It's doing what's now. The guys have huge amount of money that they can burn to develop new things for getting people in. So there always new people coming in. So there's always chances to, just like Omar said, network and get to know other people, get to know new businesses. Like, I've seen different business ideas in Dubai, like really smart people going there. I think it's the new trend. So you have to catch on that if you can.
And if you do business, you take nearly all the money back home. You don't have to pay taxes. So
As long as you're
man,
Oh, it's changing. It's changing.
yeah, but for the
You don't need to say that on the podcast, mate.
I believe I pay my taxes. So my accountants, because one of my businesses is in Abu Dhabi, 2450 Media Center, and so Media Zone, and so we're already gearing up for the VATs and the local tax that's kicking in. But that's okay. It's nothing compared to
Germany,
But I will say though, you mentioned about people coming in, which is so true. But one of the struggles is also people leaving. This is changing in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. There's new golden visas and long-term that hasn't existed before. But the one thing that's good here is it's established. When you build a company with someone in Germany, they're staying. They're not going out. It's not transitional. And that includes like employees and stuff. So There are differences. It just comes down to what you want to do. If I want to try something new, I'd go to Dubai. If I wanted to build something long, I think I'd be in Germany.
So would you say that you're more into being stable rather than traveling or having something remote? Like, would you say it's doable for anyone in the audience to start a remote company and be traveling all the way, or would it be better to have something stable?
That's a good question.
You know, it's for my own benefit as well, guys. If you're listening, I'm learning from Dan.
It's a great question. There's one thing you got to know about me. I'm ambitious. I want it all. So why is it? It's and.
On both.
I want to be here in Europe and build long-term business, and be in Dubai and build new businesses, and go to the US and create things there, and go to Asia. I want to.
You can go you can be everywhere, you know.
Well, let's
Well, you
talk
can't-
about that.
you
Let's
can't-
talk about that. Let's talk about
How
how
human being have 24 hours to work in, like to trip, to work.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Do everything.
Let's
You
talk
can do
about that.
everything.
how do you expand, Omar? You're right. You got 24 hours, but how do you 10x your 24 hours? Tell me.
But by building a great team and hiring great people and investing in people.
Yeah, pay the notes, mate. That was talking about
There you
this.
go. That's it.
Talk to me. That's thing number 2, mate. Talk to me about
Yeah. So how to grow a business
Yeah.
as an
Number
entrepreneur.
2 is slightly different from that, but Omar, I want to pick up on that because
Okay.
I think everybody wants to scale and wants to build, but they don't understand the mechanism behind it. Because you're right, everyone's got the same 24 hours. Everyone's got limitations on resources and all that, unless you surround yourself with great people, because then you can start amplifying, right?
Yes.
For example, when I shoot content with my team, and say we do a full day of content shooting, and we finish at 5 o'clock here, the German guys, they're done for the day. And you know what we do? We send it to our guys in Brazil, because their day is just starting. And so now they're working
Whoa.
our night, and they're creating, and by the time we wake up, our content's ready to go. And so this is
So you are leveraging different time zones around the world to keep people working all day long.
and that's the
Literally.
easiest, and that's the easiest
That's
example.
the smartest. The smart. I'm hiring people in the same time zone so we can have a common communication. It's the same hours, you know. It's important to, if you want to edit some videos, you have to be awake to tell the edits you want to do.
That's true. But, you know,
As long as you build the system, I don't need that anymore. Right? Like you build the system in parallel. How's that doable? How did you do that?
I mean, we use Notion. I think a lot of people use Notion as well.
Yes, and Slack. I use Slack.
And Slack. And I find that one of the things about flexible time, right? Everyone on my team is on flexible time. We don't do like 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever, which also means that people are on a lot more, especially if it's something like reviewing. It takes me only like 30, 40 seconds to review a piece of content. I'm willing to do that anytime.
Yeah.
Not like I have like a 3 to 4 p.m. slot and everybody on the team must show up, you know. And I also, and this is
You can do it in the gym. Anyway.
do it in the gym. You gotta hire people that work the way that you do. So for me, I like a lot of independence. And I actually hate phone calls. I tell people, text me. If you must, voice note me so I can listen at 2x, but never.
2x. It's the greatest WhatsApp invention.
And I have a like a different point of view when it comes. So I have we own a digital marketing agency doing ads. Sometimes the clients want to launch a campaign right now, you know. Okay, this product just came back on stock and we want to launch a campaign and publish it. So if people are in Brazil and sleeping or the other side, it can be work like that, you know. Sometimes it's critical to have
The company's never sleeping. We're on all the time. It's just that specific person, but there's enough redundancies in the system, you know? So we have, I mean, at any point of the day, you ask for the link. There's someone who can give you a link to the final thing or to manage it. So it's not like the editing team are only in Brazil. I have an editing
yeah.
from India,
Okay.
in Germany, and in Brazil.
All the right team.
So for shooting in the US, we pass it to our Indian team, so they work through the night. If we shoot in Germany, we pass it to
Right.
the team, so they work through the night.
He might have
Yeah.
that team next on in Dubai.
Yeah.
Have a team next
Yes.
in Dubai.
Yes, I want to work with you guys on that.
But
let's-
nice.
Let's go back to talking about number 2, being number 2. Me and Daniel talked about this before the podcast. Being number 2. I was like, what do you mean by being number 2? So what do you mean, Daniel, by being number 2?
Everybody needs to be number one, and everybody wants to be number one. But I actually think one of the most powerful, underrated positions is being number 2. You can have a great idea, unless you can convince one other person like the two of you sitting on the couch together, to believe in you, it's never really going to take off. So I love the role of number two, and I wish more people were in that space and it was more celebrated. So here's the deal. The first 20, 25 years of my life, I was so blessed that everybody encouraged me, pushed me, believed in me. My parents, my peers, my friends. It was such a supportive community. And it actually was a sad shock to me when I hear entrepreneurs saying, oh, the haters, those people that didn't believe me, because that was the opposite of my experience.
Everybody supporting.
So supportive.
Did you have partners?
Yeah.
When you're doing business like me and Modasser, did you have a partner when you're starting out your business and he
Always.
the idea and he went through with the journey with you?
He has a really different approach about this, but keep going, and I will just.
And so for me, it was just that, because I received so much love, I was like, someone's got to give them. Somebody has got to help them achieve more, so they don't just feel like they've got hate and rejection all the time. So that's when I decided I'm going to be number two. I want to be everybody's hype man. I'm going to believe in them, encourage them, mentor them, coach them, because what I received, I wanted to give. So
I think we can relate to this because we have the Kaizen app, and it has a lot of courses, as I mentioned before. We help teach people how to start their own agencies, how to start making money. And it actually feels really good. Like, it actually feels good when a student calls up and he's like, hey, I made my first $2,000 online. I got my first 5 clients. So I got a client, and it just feels so good. It feels like we're helping them, we're making the life change.
I agree.
So when you're providing value and you see the impact of what you are doing to the people, it's not about teaching them a course, it's about seeing the result they did, and you are grateful. They are grateful that you helped them achieve that,
You're so right. You're so right.
So that has this really cool thing where he talks about the partners of families. Like, he cares about investing in his family and putting them in partners. Can you tell Omar more about this, Dan?
Yeah, I would love to hear.
It's a conversation we were having before the podcast, but yeah, I love my family. I'm very grateful for them. I would not be
bless them
without them, and so I trust them with everything. And so I personally have my family in my business. That said, it's complicated, right? It's complicated.
Yeah.
I coach a lot of celebrities in Hollywood. I coach a lot of famous Grammy award-winning musicians. And often they start off with their parents being their managers, their parents supporting them. And I'd say 99% of them, there's been a break where it hasn't worked out. It's become too money focused, or they've lost their personal relationship, or there's been difference of opinions or something. So it's very challenging. But I'd say while it has been challenging for me as well, it's been worth fighting for, because at the end of the day, blood is blood. And, they are the people that are going to
try them out there, like 100%.
Absolutely.
Blood is really trustful.
Do you, like, how many members of your family are working with, like, can you give us a number?
Everybody.
Oh,
it's like the Jimmy Kimmel show. Everyone in his family also works for the show.
Jimmy Kimmel's fun. Guys, fun.
No, everybody does. That said, I have an interesting hypocrisy in that if a young couple are co-founders and they come to me for investment, for the most part, I don't invest in them. Because the problem is when that relationship falls apart, it's so the business.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
but
exactly.
I have one more question about the family thing. Does your family use that they are part of their family so they don't like work well or not performing good, or, oh, Dan is the founder, so we'll never get kicked out of the company,
I know a guy that knows a guy.
We're tough. I'm tough. And, to be fair, my family are so ambitious and driven. I mean, I didn't come up with this spirit on my own, right? I didn't come up with this drive on my own. It's from family. And so, no, they work harder than me. In fact, I tell my mom, she's currently in Abu Dhabi. Actually, my dad just flew over too. But I tell my mom, I said to my mom, it's Saturday. Relax. Like, why are you sending a message at 10:30 in the morning about this and that? I'm the one like putting the brakes a little bit and saying we need to have some balance. When we get on the family calls as well, it's like, okay, boom, boom, how's the fundraising? How's this? How's that? I'm like, no, we're talking about family stuff. What did you doing? What did you eat? What friends are you hanging out with? We're going to talk about that.
Do you have a new girlfriend?
Yeah, because on the other hand, I listened about like stories going bad, like when people from the same family work in the business, they start, oh, he's like my brother is the boss or the CEO of the company. If I don't work, he will never fire me off. He's my brother. He can do that, and he start using that, and it goes against the company growing.
That's so true. That's so true. I mean, I am.
Have to be tough as done. So I guess, how did you adjust that from the beginning? Like, I think that it's challenging at the beginning. How did you adjust that?
You're so right. Here's, I have a few things I've learned through business, and here's one of them, is that I am a great friend, but I'm a very tough boss.
We'll find
that as very different, right? So it's the same guy, but as a friend, if you're late 10 minutes coming to my house for a cup of coffee, no problem. You're still welcome. Please come in. If you're 10 minutes late to a meeting, you better have a reason. Why are you late? I don't get it, because it means you don't appreciate my time or respect my time. As a friend, if I ask for a favor, that is, if you can't do it, not a big problem. It was only a request anyway. But if you're assigned a task, that's a responsibility. That's not a favor. And so because I only hire, or have so far mostly hired, family and friends, this is the switch over that is quite challenging for some people. And so, again, trust is everything. That's why I start with friendship. But then I tell them in the first interview meeting, I said, what you love about me is only what you know about me as a friend. But now we're going to switch to a working relationship, and there's no compromise. None. If you say you're going to do 10 things, I am not okay with 9 or 9.5. I mean 10. 10 is 10. That's the standard. And there's nothing less. And that's the standard I hold myself to, and that's the standard I'm holding.
Actually, like that's pretty small.
But I have one more question about this topic. Did you lose any of your family or friends relationship because of business?
Yes.
That's
Like some stuff went wrong in business, and you were like the tough boss, and he thought, oh, then you're my friend, you can't do that to me. And they said, business is business.
Not from that point of view, but yes, like my best friend, we had a situation in one of our companies that was neither of our fault. Companies die, and one of our startups failed, and we had a grant from the European Union that we had to pay off. And so we both did it 50-50 and paid off. But the loss of this idea, the loss of this company really affected my best friend. And now he and I don't even talk anymore. So it's not something I did. It's not even something that he did. The company failed, but it really hurt him, and he just wasn't able to come back. And so we chat maybe once a year, but we used to be best friends. I mean, we built a business together. So we used to sit on a couch like the two of you do and chat every day, build together and dream together. These things happen for sure. I will also be humble enough to say that even though I'm a tough boss, I'm not always right. And sometimes I get things wrong, and sometimes I fail.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah. Because this happened to me on a personal level. I had one of my best friends in the company, and things didn't go good with his performance in the company. And I had to tell him, okay, we can't work together anymore. And he started, oh, if you kick me out of the company, we are not going to be good friends anymore. You are affecting our friendship, and we can't work together anymore. And my salary, I depend on you. You can do that to me. I tell him, business is business, and our friendship is out of the scope. You can put that in front of working for me, and you are not performing good.
Yeah.
And I had to do the right decision,
It happens so often.
There's a punch.
So often. If you talk to any founder, they have war stories. Stories where they got burned, where they got hurt, where they got maimed. This is so common. 4 co-founders, we built one of my newer companies, which is a parking app. So easy. Just as you drive.
App?
Yeah, it's a parking app. We just help you find parking. Easy as that.
Really?
And 4
That needs a lot of technology, man. That needs a lot of technology. That's pretty hard. I think you said it's pretty easy, but doing it is really hard. The software and everything, so it probably takes time.
So difficult. And so these co-founders, 4 of us, me and one of my good friends, who's my chief technology officer, and then 2 other friends who are co-founders of another business. So the 4 of us joined together. Now, between the other two, they already had a business together. Now we're building this new business. Between the two of them, for some reason, one of those co-founders decided to pitch to the exact same investors the exact same idea under a different name. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Like hitting from the back.
I don't get it. I don't get it. So we had to kick him out. And that was really complicated for the two of them because they have another business together as well. So these things happen. I think one of the most important metrics for success is not about funding. It's not about idea. It's not about any of those things. It's about team. It's all
Team
about
building. Yeah, we talked about this before the podcast.
This building and taking personal relationship out of the business is important to put boundaries and put rules from the beginning so you don't lose.
I love how that is so energetic about it.
Yeah, well, he's not good. So he put the rules in the final interview.
No, it's pretty energetic for like a lot of podcast interviews. We talk to them. They're like, "Hi, this is I don't know why, but like slowly dying. The pace is slowly." And it's like, "Hey, mate, we have a podcast. We have audience, and we want them to be engaged and have fun with the podcast." And that has this amazing thing where
The energy.
yeah, his energy is crazy. That's what I mean about
if we were in the gym training right now, I think the energy would be very different too.
yeah, definitely.
We just came from the gym.
Just came from the gym actually. we start the day with the gym as much as possible, and we encourage everyone in the audience is listening to do that as well. Talk to me about retirement, Dan. Like when you thought, I'm gonna retire. How was that at a young age?
So here's the deal, right? We have missions, we have purpose. I'm a big believer. Don't follow your passion, follow your purpose. Everyone says follow your passion, but to me, passion is so.
What is the difference between them for the audience listening?
Yeah.
For me personally, passion is what makes you feel good, what inspires you, what motivates you, what excites you. This is passion. The problem is when you build a business, you don't always feel passionate about it. Not every day feels like passion. I mean, a lot of days is just hard grind. It's just hard hustle. It's just obstacle after obstacle. And I promise you, passion dries out. But what keeps
What do you do in this spot? Yes, when your passion dies out, you can't do it anymore. You need a break. What do you do? How you keep going when the business is not going well?
Good question, which is why I think it's all about perseverance. I don't think it's about passion, it's about perseverance. The ones who win just stick at it. They don't quit.
Resistance.
To get perseverance and persistence and grit, these are all the same terms. Stickability is about purpose. You have to know. You have to know what is the why. Why are you building it? Not what excites you about building it, because that goes, but why. And if that why is compelling enough, you will fight. You will go to war. You will go through the hard times. So you have to know your purpose. And to me, purpose is about your why. Passion is just what's the fun part about it. Everybody wants to be on the magazine. Everybody wants to be on the podcast. Everybody wants to win an award. That's passion. But purpose is what keeps you going 365 days a year, waking you up before the sun gets up to go hit the gym, to get on a podcast, and all that stuff. That's about purpose, not just passion. So
I would say purpose is what's happening behind the curtains. Because you go watch theater anywhere and you see 2 hours and then people worked behind the curtains for 3 months to 6 months just to give you these 2 hours. And people just want to be shiny or see the shiny stuff, get famous on social media, get this and get that
Car and get the house.
And they forget definitely what's happening behind the curtains. What's happening to watching this great movie is 3 years of shooting the movie. Yeah, definitely agree with you then.
I'll push it further. I know you and I both have friends, and maybe you yourselves have accomplished by buying the stuff that you wanted to buy. And I promise you, the excitement that comes from that lasts for maybe a day, maybe an hour, maybe a week at most, and then it becomes normal.
15 seconds.
Then when you buy the dream car or anything, it's a new car, it's a new iPhone, it's whatever, okay, and then it does a function, you know? You drive a car to go from A to B, and you're done.
And then you actually feel worse. You feel a bit empty. And I coach a lot of these, high net worth individuals. And the deal is, and you always wonder, how come they committed suicide? How come they're depressed? How come they have mental health issues? Because you cannot buy, in that sense, of course you can buy it with money, but it doesn't stay for very long. On the other hand, purpose, man, people have a purpose, because I have seen poor people, I've seen middle class people, I've seen low income people who are more driven, more ambitious, have more hustle because they have purpose, not because they got stuff. They just believe.
What makes you wake in the morning with energy to continue your day? You know, it's not about the car you bought or the house you have. It's about why I'm waking up, what I want to do. What's my purpose?
So coming to that question about retiring, it's not I retired because I got everything I wanted in life financially. It's just that I achieved my first purpose. My first purpose was to build. I wanted to prove that I could build companies, and I did that 18 times. So it's just like, okay, that. And then I thought to myself, okay, I want to give back. So what's the highest I can give back? And so then I became the advisor to writing the National Policy of Entrepreneurship as the advisor to the Minister of Economy for Ireland. And so we wrote the documents for all of entrepreneurship. And I was like, okay, cool, I've done that. So now I've retired from that mission. Then I was like, okay, what's the next mission? So for me, retirement is about accomplishing your purpose and then finding the
Yeah, it's not just refining and sitting at home watching Netflix. It's a new way of refining. I want to ask you a really weird question. Would you say people buy stuff because they care about status and how they look in front of other people, and that's the way of being like, hey, I'm happy, or are they buying it because of the inner self?
I'd say 99.999% are buying it for others, which is
Showing off.
yeah, showing off.
Because you work with a lot of people who have high income and they have money. They're not doing it for themselves. They don't like the Lamborghini, they like the Bugatti. They're doing it because it's what's trendy, it's what's cool.
Yeah, insecurities. I mean, it's not just about showing off. It's about covering your insecurities or distracting from the reality or something of that sort. In fact, I'm more worried about not high net worth individuals buying stuff. I'm more worried about everyone else that's buying stuff. Because for high net worth individuals, they're spending 5 or 6% of their income on it. But for people who don't have disposable income, they're taking loans and they're going into debt to buy stuff that they cannot afford.
Yeah,
that to me is a lot more troubling. I'd say for a lot of people that's the case, but I'm not going to generalize, because I also know that there are people that buy things for a greater good. I know there are people that, their family is all over the place. So they buy a big house. They can have the family under one roof and they try to enjoy family time. I know people that invest in property. For example, right now, I've got a new dream to buy a tourist resort in Ecuador. Now,
Ecuador.
In Ecuador.
South America.
In South America, yes.
All right.
And yes, there's a business model. And yes, it's cool to own a resort. And yes, it'll be amazing to have a team.
That's very cool, man.
But the real reason that I want to do it, because why not buy in Dubai or why not buy somewhere else? The real reason is I found out that you can privately own the rainforest. Now, I'm not doing that for status, because what is the point of owning a piece of the rainforest? It doesn't change my status, but it serves a greater purpose, which is we need to take care of our planet. And right now, if we leave the rainforest to the government, for the most part, they would trade for money and they're cutting the trees. But if it's my property, they can't touch it. And so I'm not a billionaire, so I cannot buy all the rainforest, but I'll start with 50 hectares and that'll be mine. And then when I make some more money, I'll buy another 50.
That's a good vision.
And that's why. So on the outside, someone might go, whoa, damn it, a lot. Look at him buying a hotel. But the real reason is actually something deeper. And something about legacy and what do we do on this planet and caring for what has given to us and all of that. So you can't always, judge a book by the cover, So maybe someone bought a car because they are doing something beneficial.
I see where you're going. I like it.
I have one more question then. If you weren't an entrepreneur, what would you do?
Oh, I love this question. My alternate life is probably living somewhere in Southern Africa, looking after wild animals. That is probably
wild animals.
Yeah, like
wild animals.
I'm talking lions, elephants.
Dude, that's sick, man. That's scary. That's scary shit.
Taking care of those animals, building a bond, making people love nature, appreciate nature, not killing it. not using animals as pets only. I mean, dogs are fine, but wild animals, wild, you know.
Dogs and cats. I don't like cats though.
What about you guys? Let me flip that question around. I'm very curious. What do you guys wish you were doing if you were not building a media agency and, you know, companies and all of that?
Please go.
I think for me, I would go to poor villages in Africa and try to improve the people living there, like providing them have like education, food, have to have a proper water, like a clean water. I will try to see the impact of what I'm doing to the people in front of me, and I will be happy that the result I did or the work I did was helping others.
Love it. Love it.
I have, to be honest, I have a couple of things I would do, kind of crazy. I like motorcycles. I love motorcycles. I would have been a MotoGP racer. I would have loved that, man. I wish I started younger, because you need to be 16 or 15 into the lab doing motorcycle shit. It's kind of crazy. I have some motorcycle videos out on YouTube. You can watch them. It was crazy, and I was gonna die. But the adrenaline, the fun, the connections that you have with older people, younger people, everyone. Like, the motorcycles have this weird vibe where it's not who you are, it's not how old are you, it's what you're riding, it's your vibes, how you respect others. It's really enjoyable. Or I would have been a football player. Yeah, I would have done that.
Okay.
Kind of crazy, kind of crazy. I used to play semi-professional, but then I stopped for various reasons. But yeah, motorcycles, football, kind of cool. You guys are going to the nature.
Well, that's I love football too much.
Yeah, I love football, man. It's cool.
That's awesome. That is very awesome. I'd find motorcycling more dangerous than hanging out with wild animals, personally. So.
It is, definitely. It is. It's fun though. You can watch the videos. Like, if you press Modasser vlog on YouTube, you can watch my old videos on motorcycles when I used to try to kill myself. Don't do that, guys. It's pretty dangerous. Get an entrepreneur. Become an entrepreneur. So let's wrap this up, because I know we have another podcast coming in after this. So Dan, would you like to tell the audience anything before we close this episode?
I would. If I had 30 seconds of the world's attention, what I would say is, don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the perfect team. Don't wait for the perfect resources. Don't wait for the perfect knowledge. The best time to start is right now. As I always say, start now. Start simple. This is my message to everybody. I was backstage. I was backstage with the business partner for Jay-Z. His name is also Jay. And he, among his portfolio, has Beyonce and Shakira and all of these amazing artists. Plus, he also owns a lot of these actors and athletes and business, and he's multi-billionaire. And so I was asking him, because I'm a huge Beyonce fan, I said, what's the most valuable asset you have? And I was expecting him to say Beyonce is the most, you know, the big money maker, the big opportunity. And he's looked at me real calm and he said, Dan, opportunities come and go, resources come and go, friends come and go, family comes and goes, but the only thing that goes and never comes back is time. And so I always say, start now.
That's wisdom.
This is your moment right now. Don't wait. Start now and keep it simple. Start simple. You don't need the best MacBook. You don't need the best phone. Just start with what you got right now. Start now. Start simple.
That's really huge. Thank you so much for your time, Dan. Thank you for being a part of our podcast, and it's just starting out. We're still doing the 4th episode with you. And we'd love to have you back on the next, let's say, after 100 episodes. We'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
Maybe offline. Maybe we'll do it in Dubai. We'll do it in Bali. I don't know. But thank you so much, Dan, for your time. Thank you for coming on. We had so much fun talking to you.
And thank you to the two of you for having me. And thank you for doing this.
It was our pleasure for that, Dan.
Thank you.
Community appreciates the work that goes into this. So on behalf of the people listening, thank you for your effort in putting this together.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you guys for listening.